Hello, welcome to episode 59 of Little Bobbins Knits. My name is Dani and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Little Bobbins. We have a Ravelry group which you can find by searching Little Bobbins Knits in the groups tab on Ravelry, and show notes for the podcast can be found at littlebobbins.co.uk. Are you alright, Bobbin? Teddy is currently wreaking havoc. He's just been attacking every leg of the tripod. And it's upsetting Bobbin because Bobbin is a very delicate disposition, i.e. Bobbin. He's not at all, really. He just likes to pretend sometimes. I don't know what he's found to play with now. But I think there might be some ambient noise in this episode. So I hope you've had a really lovely time since I saw you last. I've been stuck in a bit of a creative block period. I think that's a pen. I'm going to go and save my pen. Come on, Teddy. Yeah, it was a pen. He really likes pens. Likes to hide them under things. Yes, so I've been stuck in a bit of a creative block and it feels like it's been hanging around since the beginning of the year, so I don't know what that's about, but it's really infuriating. Do you ever get this? I sort of feel like my one foot is on the accelerator, but then the other foot is on the brake, like just as hard, and so I'm just sort of trying so hard to move forward but being stopped. Yeah, and it's just manifesting in a bit of a creative block. So since creativity is pretty much my life, it feels like a bit of a rubbish time. But I'm trying to just be calm about it, and just be calm sounds so dramatic, doesn't it? I'm trying to just sort of let it move on, like let it come and go as it pleases and not get too stressed about it. But if you know me at all, you know that that is not my sort of not stressed is not my standard, so it's a bit of a challenge really. But yeah, I'm going to try not to sort of beat myself up about it too much, and just sort of try and let it pass without too much stress. Surely it has to pass soon. It has, I think, been the whole year, and that's far too much. So that's why I haven't really been podcasting with any sort of great regularity. I just feel a bit blocked. But I thought, if I don't do it today, I'm just waiting for this miraculous moment when all of this blockedness lifts, and who knows when that will be. If it doesn't happen for months, then I could not podcast for months, and then I'd be even more out of the habit, and it would just go even worse than if I just sort of try and keep trying. So anyway, that I just wanted to let you know what was happening really, because yeah, it's been stressing me out. But I've still been knitting. I just I haven't felt those creative juices flowing like normal, which is the best feeling ever, and I miss it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying what I'm knitting, but do you want to go up there on your blanket? But yeah, there's just a little bit something missing for me at the moment. Isn't there, Bobbin? But I have some lovely things to show you today. So I've got my works in progress. I've got some finished objects. Oh, one of which I've forgotten is over there. I'll just go and get that now. So I just went over to get my finished object that I wanted to show you. I thought while I did that I would show you why it was over there. I've got this little box, and I think this was David's granddad's box, and David thinks that he might have made it. He used to have a little corner shop type thing, and this is what the sweets used to be in his shop. So it's got little bits that separate, little bits of wood that separate the box into 4 pieces, but I've been using it on my little table to keep special skeins of yarn and special projects in. So yeah, that's why it was over there, because it's my Patronus shawl. It just looks so cute all rolled up. I've got some hedgerow yarns in here. This is a gorgeous skein. This was a random act of kindness that was just such a wonderful, wonderful surprise. It's isn't it beautiful? It's in there because I'd really like to work with it. I just haven't found the exact project yet. It's by Gabriella Koss, and it's Anastasia's Doll colourway. And I've got some 5 Moons and this gorgeous skein from Circus Tonic Handmade. This is King Quail. I just thought that they looked really lovely together. Can't really see, but yeah, so that's why that's in there. And then there's my Find Your Fade and this lovely skein from Hedgerow Yarns, the Apple Blossom, from the Apple Blossom kit that Curious Handmade had a little while ago with Hedgerow Yarns. So yeah, that's just thought I'd show you that because it's over there with some lovely bits and pieces in. Just go and pop it back. So I think I've got everything now. I've got some works in progress, some finished objects, some lovely things, and I think that's everything. I'm gonna have a sip of my tea. I've got some lemon green tea today. And little Bobbin, you a good boy. So, works in progress. I'll show you this one first. This one I've been completely engrossed by. So it's a lovely little bag from Antonella. Antonella has the Antonella Makes podcast, and she's just such a lovely, lovely person, and she made me this bag and sent it over. She sent a lovely package of things, and she also sent a little bag for my mum, which was so kind. Some yummy teas and some lovely yarn that I can't wait to use, so I just love it, and every time I use this I think of her, so thank you, Antonella. So in here I've got my Fairy Hill shawl. Now the new Shawl Society 2 came out. What day did it come out? Was it last Thursday? I think it might have been last Thursday. And I've been so excited for the Shawl Society 2 to come out. I absolutely loved the first instalment of the Shawl Society. And yeah, I've been really excited for the second one to come out. I did all but one of the shawls last time, and I did start the one that I didn't actually manage to do, in hopes that I would get it done before this came out, but I didn't manage it. So I'll come back to that maybe after I finish some things, or I'm not sure, but it's such a beautiful one. It's I think it's called the Asana shawl. Oh, and it's so pretty. So anyway, I was very excited for the Shawl Society 2 to come out, and Mum saw, I think she saw Deb's sneak peek of it, and Tink Hickman, and said, I have to have that one. So, honestly, Teddy is just finding mischief anywhere he possibly can. Teddy Pom Pom, what are you doing? You're just destroying stuff. Come up here. Come and get in your box. Come on. Come on. He's so cantankerous. Honestly, he's the most cantankerous cat I've ever known in my life. I've known quite a lot of cats. Aren't you, Teddy? Go behind me. Go on then. Excuse the brief cat interlude. Right, there he is. I'll just show you him because he just keeps growing. There he is. You right, Teddy Pom Pom? He's far too busy now to be spoken to. You may hear some snuffles because he's just behind the camera now. Anyway, so the Fairy Hill shawl came out, I think it was last Thursday, and I started it the next day. Mum came round and picked the yarn that she wanted, and I've been hoarding this yarn for quite some time. Probably, oh, I don't know how long actually. Hang on, I've just got to go and save my stuff from Teddy. What will he find next? This is the most fragmented chat about my shawl. So anyway, yes, I've been hoarding this yarn for quite a while, maybe even 2 years, I'm not certain. And it's just so beautiful. I wanted something really, really special for it. It's alpaca sock from the Wool Barn. It's natural grey alpaca, silk and cashmere. And it is the softest, most beautiful yarn. It is just incredible. The Wool Barn is always amazing, isn't she? But let's just ignore him. Hope he starts to be quiet soon. So yes, I've been saving that yarn for a while for something special, and I think this is the perfect use for it. Actually, when I saw some of the sneak peeks for the shawl, I did think about this yarn in my stash and thought that this would work really well. But I showed Mum lots of other different yarns as well, but yeah, she went for this one. I may have tried to dissuade her because she's going to get to keep the shawl and I wanted to keep the yarn, but it is perfect for this shawl, I think. So, I always have my shawls on quite short needles because I really like I don't want to have to pull my stitches all along a really long cable. So I usually have quite a short needle, which makes it nice for knitting, but not so good for showing on the podcast or taking nice photos of or anything like that. But yeah, that's where I am at the moment. I think I'm at about 70%. I didn't intend to put beads in this. There is an option for beads, and I didn't intend to put beads in it. I'm doing the medium size, by the way. But then I found these beads. I was having a bit of a tidy up and I found these beads. I hope you'll be able to see them. They are just the prettiest colour. I absolutely love them, and I thought, I really think I would like to get these into the shawl. It's sort of a really nice dusky pink, and it's got a sort of gold lustre to it. They're called chalk red lustre. They're Matubo 7-0 beads. They're from cjbeaders.com, and I got these when Mum and I went to the Sewing for Pleasure show at Birmingham that I mentioned in the last podcast. So we went to the Sewing for Pleasure show, and then we went to Comic-Con, which was happening in the NEC at the same time. So they come from a very special day because Mum and I had such a lovely time that day, and so I thought that they would be just an added little memory in this shawl. Very special yarn and beads from a lovely, lovely day out that Mum and I had together. Come on, Poppin, I need my hand. You go there. Good boy. So yes, I have gone down a needle size. I'm using a 3.75mm needle because this yarn isn't like particularly plump. It's just got that nice sort of fine drapiness that alpaca has. So yeah, I've gone down a needle size, and I may add a couple more repeats on the end. Because of Helen's fantastic percentage system, how she has her patterns laid out, I can sort of work out how much yarn I've used and how much yarn I will need. And I think I'm going to have extra yarn, so I may do a few more repeats, but I might not. It might make it look unbalanced, because how it is now is just so beautiful. But anyway, I was talking about the beads, wasn't I? So I wasn't going to use beads. I had knit all the way down to here, and then I found those beads, and I thought I would just so love to use them. About here is where I was supposed to change colour according to the pattern, because the medium size has two different colours, but because I'm using the same colour, I thought what a perfect time to add in some beads. And so I have started to do that now, and I might add in some more on lower rows that don't actually have them included, but it just looks so pretty. I'm not massively into beading. It's not I'm not that drawn to doing beaded knits, but finding these special little beads, I just had to do it, and I'm loving how it looks. I think they look so pretty. If you haven't tried beading with knitting before, then Kristen from the Yarngasm podcast has a fantastic tutorial on her channel, but it's absolutely fantastic. It's so clear and so makes it so approachable, because I don't know about you, but I was a bit intimidated by knitting with beads because I didn't know how to do it, and I assumed it would be hard because it looks so pretty, and I always assume that things that look really lovely are going to be difficult. But watching Kristen's video just completely demystified it and made me realise that it's not difficult. It is slow, but yeah, it's not hard. It's really quite fun. So I'm really pleased that I've started putting beads in that. I think it will look really pretty when it's done. And yeah, I'm hoping, honestly, I set myself up for disappointment all the time. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I'm hoping to get that done by the 12th, because that is when the Hohi Mystery Knit Along is starting, and I'd really like to have it finished before then. I've no idea why, just to set myself up with unrealistic goals probably, because who doesn't love those? Honestly, I don't know why I do it to myself. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I haven't put it down. Since I started it, I haven't really knit anything else at all. So, my next work in progress. Oh, there's Teddy back again. In my llama bag, there's Teddy Pom Pom. He's going to go in his box, I think. Oh. Can you see? That was a little cuddle, I don't know if you saw that. My memory card ran out, so I had to stop, and I found another memory card, and that was full up too, so I had to empty those. But yes, anyway, so I was just about to start talking about my So Faded sweater by Andrea Mowry. This is, if you haven't seen it before, based on the same, hang on, I moved it a little bit, based on the same principle as the Find Your Fade shawl. And if this had come out before the Find Your Fade shawl, I would not have knit the shawl, I would have knit this, because the shawl, I really enjoyed the process of picking the colours, and I enjoyed the knitting of it as well, seeing the colours blend together, but I really don't think it's something that I'm going to wear very often. But I think this jumper I probably will, and I would have quite liked it in the colours that are in my shawl. But that's not the order it came out in, so never mind. But I have started the jumper. Teddy's now chewing at his box. That's what that noise is. So I have done the I've split for the sleeves. So I've just used one colour up to splitting for the sleeves. I've only got 3 colours that I actually want to use, and I think for my size, I really hope that noise isn't as horrendous for you as it is for me. Eddie, must you do that remodelling right now? Come on, Ted, just do quiet things. It's impossible for him to be quiet. Yeah, so I've only got 3 yarns so far that I actually want to use, so I knit quite far with the first skein to under the arms, and maybe, I don't know, I'll just have to see. And I haven't left very much of it, and this has got to do the neckband and a bit of the sleeves. I think it'll be enough, but we'll see. And then I've just started striping in my next colour. Well, I've striped it in actually, but I've just started knitting with the next colour. It's quite a subtle transition. So that's where I am with that. So the yarn that I'm using for this is the first one that I started with. This is from West Green Loft. I got this at Unravel. I hadn't seen West Green Loft before, but they had a lovely stand at Unravel. I found this one there. I think it's called Pumpkin Spice, and it's a BFL in nylon. Oh, that makes sense. So yeah, that was my first one, and then I've moved on to this one, and this is Nora George in Acorn Wood, which is beautiful. And then the third one that I've picked is this one, and this is Fine Fish Yarns, and it's called Hammer and Tongs, I believe. Yeah, Hammer and Tong. Come here, bub. Go in here. Good boy. So they're my colours so far. So I'm thinking I maybe need one slightly darker to go on the end here, if I can't get it out of the 3. And I would like long sleeved, and I don't think that I want this one cropped because it's such autumnal colours that I think I'll wear it a lot when it's actually chilly. But maybe cropped will be fine because I can wear shirts underneath. I'm not sure. I'll see how far I get with those yarns. But it's coming along well. It's been completely pushed to the side while I do my Fairy Hill shawl. But yeah, I'm intrigued by it, and I hope I like the style with the colours, because I think it would be lovely to use some of my single skeins together in a jumper like this. So I'm using 3.75mm needles. I'm using higher sharps. Yeah, that's all there is to say about that one, I think. I was so happy to split for the sleeves, and yeah, I'm quite looking forward to getting back to it to see how it looks. I've just noticed now that my battery is about to die, so I will just change my battery and then I'll be back. I had a spare charged battery! Yay. That is very good news, because these batteries take ages to charge. So, my last thing that I've been working on, let me just pop my ball bands back in my bag so I don't lose them. It's in my lovely little bag from Luli. This is one of her mini knitting bags. I've just bought another one actually, because they are just, well, actually I was treated to it for my birthday. But they're such a good size for putting in your bag when you go out to take your knitting along with you. And I'm actually knitting a pattern by Lee as well. Lee has just brought out a collection of patterns There are 4 patterns in this collection, and it's called Luli's Simple Socks, and they're the socks that Lee says that she knits. There's a plain one, and then there's some little patterns that she likes to knit when she's on the go and doesn't want to think too much but still wants a really pretty, lovely looking sock. And it's a really lovely collection. Lee's actually given us a copy to give away, so I'll link the collection in the post for the giveaway, and if you could go over and have a look at the collection and tell me which pattern you would like to knit first, I think that would be really interesting. And if you'd like to add in a picture of the yarn that you'd use or something like that, then that would be really nice, just to make inspire other people what yarn out of their stash or what yarn they can buy to knit the different patterns. They're really, really lovely patterns, and I have been really in the mood to knit a short sock, and so I saw that she had this one in the collection. So these are called the ankle socks with ventilation, and they're just so pretty. So that's mine so far. They're such lovely patterns. If you're just sort of getting into knitting socks, then I think it would be a fantastic collection, because Lee's put in her sort of favourite sock recipe. The patterns are so clearly laid out as well. But if you've been knitting socks for ages, I think it's a fantastic collection as well, because the patterns are really user-friendly and just really lovely and so effective for how easy they are. And I don't tend to keep to sock patterns very often completely, because I'll tend to put in my own heel turn and toe. But I used Lee's toe and I really like how it turned out. I think it's really lovely. So yeah, even if you've been knitting socks for a while, there will probably be something that you can try. So I really, really love this. I've got the second one on the needles, but I've only done the ribs so far because I've been swallowed by the fairy hill shawl. But yeah, so I'm using some mini skeins from Fine Fish Yarns. I saw Terry from Fine Fish Yarns at Unravel. She had the most beautiful stand. I am a little bit in love with Fine Fish Yarns, I must say. So I had these mini skeins. They are 20-gram mini skeins. Come here, you're being such a fidget today. They're 20-gram mini skeins, so I knew that I'd be able to get a good chunk of these socks knit with the mini skeins. I think my usual socks for a full length one usually use about 60 grams of yarn, so I had 4 of these mini skeins. They're honestly so beautiful. I have another one over there because I didn't use that one in these socks. But they were just too pretty just to get eaten by one of my blankets. I felt like they needed to be used in a way that was more special. I mean, my blankets are special, but my crochet blanket just swallows yarn. It's quite incredible. So I wanted these to be used for something a bit more special, something a bit more on their own. So I wonder if I can remember which colour is which. So this one, what I decided to do was use the same colour for the cuff and the heel, and then use one of the colours for the foot and then a different colour for the toe. And then on the other sock, I'll use the colour I used for the toe on here for the main part. I think that was the postman. Alright, Bob, thank you. And then I'll use the colour I used for the main body for the toe on the other sock. I hope that made sense. Shush, Bubby. Come on. So this colour is Sushi, and it's so pretty. Such lovely little speckles, and oh my gosh, it's so, so, so gorgeous. This one, the grey one, there's little flecks of yellow in there. I'm not sure if they'll show up. But that one's called Mist Pink. And then this last one is so, so pretty. I just am such a fan of Terry's dyeing. It's so pretty. This one's called Heartstrings. So yeah, I absolutely love those, and I can't wait to wear them. I'm really excited about it. It's such a lovely sock, and you know, I would highly recommend that pattern collection. It's been really thoughtfully done, and yeah, I love it. So I'll set up a giveaway thread in the Ravelry group, and yeah, go over there and enter to win the collection if you would like to. So pretty. So that is my, I might as well leave that on there. That is my last work in progress. So on to finished objects. I'll show you my shawl first. So as I showed you earlier, I finished my Patronus shawl. This was a test knit for Madeline Windsor, who's Kingfisher Knits. It was a collaboration that Madeline did with Nora George. Tracy from Nora George dyed up sets of yarn of a Harry Potter character and their Patronus, and they were made to go with this Patronus shawl. So I finished it reasonably soon after I podcasted last, but obviously it's been a while since I did a podcast now. That's the front. Bobbin is determined that he will sleep on my arm, which is not going to make anything very easy. Now, is that the front? Yes, that's the front. This yarn is so lovely. It's a superwash merino, and it's really, really light and just really beautiful. So there's my shawl. It's really beautiful. I loved the colours. I used the Lily and Snape's Doe set, which is just beautiful, and the pattern was really lovely, really easy to follow, and yeah, really effective. I love how all the different how the yarns work together, so the different stripes and the different bits of lace in different colours and things. So yeah, that's that. I blocked this with blocking wires. I fed blocking wires through all of the little eyelets at the edge and stretched it out as much as I possibly could, and it's left a really nice drapey, beautiful fabric. It smells like Celebration Soak, that one. So I'm really, really pleased with that. My other finished objects. So I have a lot of things going at the same time, as you may know if you've watched the podcast before. And as a consequence of that, sometimes I finish lots of things at the same time. And I had a bit of a sock finishing spurt. So in my box of socks, remember that my box of socks isn't one that I could enter, because some of these I started last year. Only one pair actually, but anyway. So this is the pair I started last year, and I knit these with my friend Amanda, who's Knitting Mummy. They were our Dobby socks because they are odd. And these are made with Sarah's Texture Crafts. She did a set of 50 gram two 50-gram minis that were different, and I just loved that idea. I think they were called her Odd Socks set. I was so sad to hear that Sarah's Texture Crafts isn't going to be dying anymore, because I've always really loved her yarn and always loved seeing her at festivals and things, so that's sad, but I'm happy to have some of her lovely yarn in my stash and my lovely socks. I think Sarah was one of the first people that first indie producers that I actually bought from. I remember it was at a Fibre East, when Fibre East used to be in a field, and it was quite a few years ago. I can't remember how many now. I think it was the very first Fibre East actually. This is a complete tangent, but anyway. And I remember just being so amazed by Sarah's stand. She had all these really interesting bats that she'd made, and I bought a few bats, and I think I've bought something from her every time since seeing her at festivals, because she's always got such lovely things. So yeah, I was sad about that, but I think, yeah, anyway, so I hope she's going on to do other fun things now. My next pair of socks, did I show them all in there? Because this was empty before. Now there are socks. This pair, I saw this yarn on Julie from Suffolk Socks, her Instagram. Julie was knitting a pair of socks out of this yarn, and so I had to go over to her shop and buy some for myself. I think she was knitting a different colourway, but I just loved these. They sort of remind me of scrappy socks, but without all the ends, because of the different size stripes. Oh, Bobbin's determined to have my arm. So these are called Hot Socks Diamond, and I'll link to my project pages in the show notes for the colourway numbers, because I don't have the ball bands with me. But I really liked these. The sock yarn was really inexpensive, and it is lovely, lovely yarn. It's softer than your average sort of opal, and I really like it. So I think I'll probably get some more of this yarn, because I really enjoyed working with it, and I love the slightly odd stripes. I did those just my regular top down with a slip stitch heel flap, and oh, actually I did do something slightly different on these. I don't know what possessed me particularly at that moment, but I actually carried my slip stitch down into the heel turn. I wonder if it will focus on that. So yeah, the slip stitches all down the heel, and then I did slip stitches on the heel turn as well, just for a little bit of extra strength, I guess. And I really liked it, so I think I've done that on another couple since, actually. And then I just did my regular slightly rounded toe with that. And then I finished this pair. Well, there's an end. I've sewn in the ends, but I don't usually clip them off unless they're really, really long. And oh, I love these. These are in Homespun House Bookworm, and it's got gold stellina in there. And this is yarn that I dyed. These two yarns I used in my Find Your Fade, and this was all I had left of both. So I really wanted to make a pair of socks out of them. And yeah, they're made in the same way as the last ones. I really like those. And then these ones. These are Opal Smile. I'll have colourway numbers in my project pages, like I said. And then I used some socks, coupe knit socks, and the colour for that will be in my project page as well as the toe. And I did no I didn't. I thought I'd done the slip stitch heel thing on that as well, but I clearly didn't. Yeah, so they're just made with the same regular pattern that I always use. And then the last pair are these ones. I knit these for David for his birthday. They're Knit Picks Felici in the Lost Lakes colourway, and then I just used a different, I think this was from the Knitting Goddess, this is a mini skein from the Knitting Goddess for the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And yeah, he can wear those now. I've been hiding them. He had them for his birthday, but then I just took them out of his drawer and I've been hiding them. Doesn't seem to have noticed that they're missing. I don't know if I should be offended by that. But yeah, so they're all of my socks, and that's 4 pairs in my box of socks now, which I'm really excited about. I'm looking forward to having this box full. I think it might be too small actually for 12 pairs, but I've got a lavender bag in there as well. That was one that came with my lovely apple blossom. So I think that is all of my finished objects. Let's move on to lovely things. I've got quite a few lovely things. I'm pretty sure that this memory card is going to run out as well, so we'll just keep going and see how much we can fit in. So last episode I was telling you about the sock swap that we did in the Ravelry group, and I was paired with Christy, and I've sent her socks off now. I've shown them on my Instagram, and Christy showed them on her podcast as well actually. She has the Relatively Crafty podcast, and it's really lovely. I was mentioning in the last episode how I haven't really watched many episodes because I didn't want to see any sneak peeks of my socks before I received them, but I've gone back and watched them now, and I just enjoyed them so much. And Christy, yes, I would love to swap with you again. Swap some socks with you again. And I put in the thread in the Ravelry group that I would love to do another one of these swaps, because it was just so fun to knit for someone that you didn't know and receive a pair of socks. So yeah, if you're interested, we'll do that again in a couple of months' time. But I received my socks from Christy. Aren't they just lovely? So I've got in my Ravelry that I love a muted rainbow, and this just couldn't be more perfect, could it? So I've had these for a while, and I really want to wear them, but at the same time I don't want to wear them because they're really special, because they were made for me. So I'm just so thrilled with those. I think they're Desert Vista Dye Works, and I can't remember the colour, and Christy did tell me, but I'll put it in the show notes because I've got it in a card that Christy wrote to me just over there. But yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled with those. Got a lovely Afterthought heel, which I never use, but seeing them on here has made me think, actually I'd like to have another go at Afterthought heels. But they're just beautiful. I'm so thrilled with those. And Christy also sent me some lovely mini skeins, including one in the yarn that socks are in, which I thought was just so lovely. So they're beautiful. And she also sent me a little donut, sucre miniature. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. A little donut with sprinkles, which I just thought was so thoughtful and so kind. So I can't wait to start using that. So I just was so over the moon with that. Thank you again so much, Christy. I know that we've exchanged emails, but I'm over the moon with those. So I mentioned in my last episode that I was going to talk about Unravel in this one, so I'll just talk about that briefly because it was in February and we're now in May, so that's quite a lot of time that's passed. But I got some really lovely yarns when I was there. Before I went, I can't remember what I had been... Oh, I had been knitting the snow melt shawl, and I was really enjoying the single ply yarn, so I thought when I went to Unravel I would get some more single ply yarn. And oh, a fine fish, honestly, I just love fine fish yarns. So I got these two from Fine Fish Yarns. This one is double shot mocha on the sole fingering, and this one is grunge pink, and they're the most gorgeous colours. So I'm really, really thrilled with those. And I also got this. I wondered whether those two would go together. I think that they look lovely together. But this one is from Sparkle Duck, and it is the Sirius base. It's Superwash Merino and Silk, and it's Wildflowers colour, and it's really pretty. Really, really pretty. So yeah, I got those singles. I had a lovely time at Unravel. It was really nice. Some of the stands were different, and they've been quite similar for a couple of years, I feel like. So it was really nice to see some different dyers there. And Unravel is my favourite festival. So yeah, I always enjoy it so much. So Fine Fish hadn't been there before, so they were new, and Stranded Dye Works were there as well, and it was Amy's first time. Amy has the Stranded podcast and she's doing some vlogs, and it's really, really exciting watching what Amy's doing. She's just, you can tell she's having a lot of fun with it, and I just think that that is the most wonderful, wonderful thing to watch. And she dyes wonderful yarn. And this, there couldn't be more out of my comfort zone, could it, really? I mean, they are in my comfort zone. And then there's this. But I am just so in love with this colourway. This is her Flamingo Legs colourway. It's a 75-25 merino and nylon. And I just think it's the funnest thing. I always say funnest, and I know funnest isn't a word, but this is the funnest. So yeah, I was thrilled to pick up a skein of this. I was having a look at her stand. I went on the Sunday, and she clearly had a very good day on the Saturday, so there wasn't as much yarn left. And I actually went there with the intentions that I wanted some flamingo legs, and I couldn't see it. I don't know how I missed it, but so I thought, okay, I'll just order it when she gets it back in. But then she found some on her shelves, so I was thrilled. And yeah, I can't wait to cast these on. I think just some plain socks will be perfect, but I just love them. I don't know why, because they are so out of my comfort zone, but I just love them. I think I like the sort of real contrast between these really dark black bits and then these beautiful pale bits. I love this, and I love how it knits up as well. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I had a lovely time at Unravel, and we'll look forward to going again next year. When I was at Unravel, I met Nikki. Nikki is a friend of Amy's on Stranded Dye Works, and she was helping her on her stand for the weekend. And we got chatting, and oh, Nikki is so lovely. And she offered to weave me a blanket, and I'm not very good at receiving things. So I was in shock, to be quite honest, because that is an undertaking to weave a blanket, and I was just in shock that she offered to do this for me. She said, send me some of your leftovers, your odds and ends, and I'll weave you a blanket. And I was really tentative about getting in touch and asking her if she really meant it, because I really wanted this blanket, but then I thought, gosh, that is such a huge gift. So I think she got in touch with me, which made me feel less bad about getting in touch with her, saying, did you really mean it? But yes, so I sent Nikki a box of my leftovers. I think I sent her like 700 grams of yarn, which is great because I'm sort of tallying my yarn, not with any sort of intentions, just out of interest, tallying my yarn. So seeing it go down by 700 grams was quite good. But yeah, I sent her 700 grams and she wove me a blanket. Now I'm being so careful with this blanket because that one over there, him and his claws, honestly, he's just a menace is the only way I can describe him. He is a complete menace. So yeah, I'm being really precious with it, not really using it yet. It's just sort of laying artfully over things, because if he gets his claws on it, I will be so unimpressed. And I see this has been on the back of my chair for a second and he's got it. I can just ease it back in though, luckily. Let's just ease back in. Oh, that's just a lovely little textury bit. So yes, this blanket arrived and oh, it was just so wonderful. It actually arrived, I actually opened it on a day that Teddy had gone into the vets to be castrated, and I am a worrywart, so obviously I was really worried that he wouldn't be okay, and he was completely fine. You wouldn't even know that anything had happened to him later on that afternoon. But it was so lovely to have something so wonderful to open on a day that I just spent far too long worrying. And it's amazing. Now I have photos of it on Instagram. I'll just hold it up. And I sent Nikki lots of different types of yarn. So there's sock yarn, there's sparkly sock yarn, there's quite a bit of hand spun, because Nikki said that she could put hand spun in, and I've got so many odds and ends of hand spun that I thought that would be perfect. Bobbin's just got comfy in the blanket now. Bobbin, I'm trying to show this. Come on. Good boy. I've got some lovely, that's Sarah's Texture Crafts. Oh, this is from the Beatrix Potter mini skein set from Elm Tree Yarns, which I loved, and I just thought it would be so special to have it kept in here. Oh, this is, I think, my first skein that I ever bought from the Wool Barn, which is really special to have in there. This is from Life in the Long Grass, and that's my favourite colourway. It's Chrysalis, and I just love that colourway. I've tried to buy it again though, and it's much more orange now. And yeah, there's bits of mohair that I've spun. That's some more of the Elm Tree Yarns. There's some bits of alpaca. That's some, oh, that's Elm Tree Yarns as well. That's the Toasted Marshmallow, which we have a skein to give away actually, so I'll do that soon. I really like that one actually. That's something I spun absolutely years ago. But anyway, I won't go through all of the yarns that are in here. There are quite a lot, and it's just so beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. I absolutely love it. Oh, and also in here is the yarn that Jane from Hedgerow Yarns dyed for our Vintage Fairy Lights kit, which I thought was so special to have that in there, because that was such a lovely experience working with Helen and Jane on that kit. So yeah, this is the blanket, and it's just a thing of beauty. It really is so beautiful, and it's so cozy. I would love to be able to use it, but I just don't trust that little cat yet, and there's no weather's off limits to him, so it's just going to stay folded up for now, safe. And look at these on the end, these twists. Aren't they just gorgeous? I love how chunky they are. I just think they're beautiful. So I couldn't be more over the moon about my blanket. I just think it's the most beautiful thing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Nikki. Nikki does make these blankets on commission, so if you have odds and ends, or even if you have like brand new special yarn that you want to be a blanket, that works too. But I love the memories that are in this blanket. So yeah, Nikki does make these on commission, so do get in touch with her if you would like one too. They're called her Alchemy blankets, and I just think that that is the most perfect name, because this box of random odds and ends has been magically transformed into this just utterly beautiful thing. Oh, I just keep seeing patches that I just love. Just every time I look at it, I see another patch that I absolutely love. Oh, that's Bear and Vuller, that one. I absolutely love that colour. So that was just such an incredible treat, and I'm just over the moon with it. So thank you again, Nikki. Yeah, so Nikki weaves these blankets under the name Hugs by Clara. Where's her lovely label? There's a lovely label on here. Hugs from Clara. There's a little label on there, which I just think is absolutely lovely. I'll leave links to where you can get in touch with Nikki if you'd like one of these blankets too. They're so incredibly special. Just, oh, I love those big fat twists. Yeah, so incredibly special, and I'm in love with it. Absolutely in love with it. Such a wonderful use for odds and ends. And I love how, going on and on about this, aren't I? I love how different the yarns look in this woven fabric than they do in knitted fabric. I just think that's so interesting to see. It's so soft. I'll leave links to Nikki in the show notes if you want to go and talk to her about getting a blanket for yourself. She's called Clara Peggotty on Instagram, and it's lovely following her on Instagram because she shows the blankets in progress and things like that, and very inspiring. I'm going to keep a close eye on it while it's there. So other lovely things, I mentioned that I had a new bag from Lee of Shop Luli. I got in touch with Lee a little while ago because she makes these lovely needle cases for your DPMs or interchangeable needles, and I just recently got the, oh, my Jay's in the garden. I just recently got the Chiaogu twist set, which are the mini ones, and so I asked Lee if she'd be able to, or I asked her if her current case would work for the minis, and she said it might be a bit too big, so I asked if she would make one for me as a custom order, and that's what it looks like. It's so everything that Lee does is just absolutely beautifully made, but I loved this narwhal fabric, so I asked for that. And yeah, so I've got my tips in here, and then there's a space for my cables. I have 8 tips, but I just haven't gathered all of them to put in there yet. I'm just so thrilled with that. And when Lee was sending me pictures of the fabric, she showed me this. It's another part of the same fabric, but it's got a unicorn on it, and I love this little, it's a little planet with flowers on. I just think that this is the most adorable fabric. So I asked if she was making any of these knitting bags. She doesn't make the knitting bags as custom, I don't think. I asked if she had plans to make any of these into the little mini knitting bags, because I would need one of those too. And luckily she was, so I was very happy. So there's a unicorn on this side, There's a narwhal on this side. And these bags, I just think they're perfect for out and about with one sock. There's pockets in there, and yeah, they're just incredibly well made. I just love it. So yeah, that was a treat from my mum for my birthday. So I'm very, very thrilled with those. I need to gather up all of my interchangeables and all of my interchangeable minis and get them in that lovely case. So yeah, I'm just over the moon with those. That's Luli, who has Shop Luli on Etsy. She popped in a little lavender bag, which just smells incredible. Oh, so lovely. Another thing that I've got for my birthday that I'm having in advance, I'm not gonna have anything to open on my birthday, but never mind, is the yarn for the Hohi mystery knit along. I'm gonna just go and get it. So I saw that Shadow from Felt Fusion was dyeing up some sets for the mystery knit along, and I love Felt Fusion yarn, and Shadow I just think is incredible. She does lots of custom dye jobs, is that the right phrase? And I'm just a big fan of Shadow. So when I saw she was doing that, I could not think of what colours to use for this mystery knit along. And you know, I didn't really want to think. For some reason, I just wasn't in the mood. I just wanted to knit this mystery knit along and just enjoy the process. So when I saw that Shadow was doing custom orders, I remembered back to this image that I saw that I really liked, and I sent that image to Shadow and asked if she would be able to dye me up a set based on that image, and she said yes. She had been in discussion with Hohi about the way to get the best out of this mystery knit along, so the colours to use and things. So she said that she would use that image as much as she could to dye me a custom set, and very handily, because it was in May, I asked David for it for my birthday. So this is what Shadow came up with, and I absolutely love this, but it's so out of my comfort zone, but I'm quite pleased about that. I'm really looking forward to getting started. But these are the yarns ready for the mystery knit along, and I asked for 4 of them on just a regular superwash merino nylon sock base, and the speckled one I asked for that to be on a sparkly base. I don't know if you'll be able to see the sparkles. I absolutely love it. I'm just so thrilled with it, and it's so nice. I'm so excited about the prospect of just knitting it without thinking. I'm so excited about this, and well, I always love what Shadow does, but I'm, yeah, thrilled with these. I love that buttery yellow colour. And I feel like these are colours that I will wear as a finished thing. I will wear these. I think sometimes I'm tempted to use colours that I might not wear so much, just because they're really pretty. Like if they're really pale, I might not necessarily wear them, but I love knitting with really pale colours. So I feel like I will enjoy the process of this, but I will also enjoy the finished object. There's sort of a butter yellow, this is sort of a really deep blue, and then there's a sort of teal green, and then this is a really pale blue, and then the speckle has got yellow. It's sort of on a shell, sort of peachy base, and there's yellow and then there's teal. I think there's the colours from the rest of the skeins in there, except the pale blue maybe, but it's just beautiful. So I'm so excited to start that. So excited. other lovely thing. Now, this was a very kind gift. I have two very, very kind gifts, and I don't know if the people want me to share their names or anything, so I will just show you what they sent me. It's just kind people are just so lovely. Now, this was sent to me by someone who's not actually in the UK, but this shop is in the UK. It just came as a complete surprise, and I've never heard of this shop before. It's called Laughing Yaffle, and this colourway is called Ice Cream Parlour, and it's on the Starling base, which is a Stellina base. And isn't it just the most fun? Oh, I just absolutely love this. I think it's beautiful. All the colours in it are just incredible. I absolutely love it. I think it's just going to make a fantastic pair of socks. I'm really looking forward to starting it. I wonder if all I needed was just to do a podcast, because when I do a podcast it always gets me so much more excited about things, and that's what I've been missing, I think, for a little while. So maybe I just need to get to podcasting more, because then I get enthusiastic about things. But yeah, I'm very, very enthusiastic to cast this on. So thank you so much. You know who you are. I appreciate it so much. It's just such a lovely surprise. And my other lovely thing, let me just go and get it. And my other lovely thing was from someone else who was just so lovely. She sent me this bag. It's a Harry Potter bag, and those jelly beans, or Bertie Bott's every flavour beans, and I absolutely love this bag. Now, who made it? Oh, it's by Happy Stitcher Designs, and it is such a fantastic bag. It is such a lovely size for socks. It's Dumbledore on this side, and then Bellatrix Lestrange on the other side. And she also sent me this fabulous yarn. This is a sport weight, and it's called Weasley Boys, and it's from O Loops, and that's so exciting because I've never had any yarn from O Loops before, and yeah, I absolutely love their yarn. But I love these colours. David really wants me to knit socks for him out of this, so I'll have to see how generous I'm feeling, because I really want socks out of it too. I love the colours, like the Weasley hair. Isn't it just perfect? So yeah, thank you very much. That was just such a lovely package. Oh, and her son drew me the most fantastic card. I hope she won't mind me showing you. Hang on, I got it up here. I want to get it in a frame. But isn't this adorable? So it's me, and there's Teddy down there, a little bobbin on my lap. So special. I'm just so touched so often by just how lovely and kind people are. I can't get my head around it sometimes, because it's just so amazing how kind people are. It means such a lot to me. So yeah, thank you both for those really lovely things, and yeah, really cheering. So thank you. So I think that's everything. I feel like I've gone on for quite a while, but it might be because I've had to pause for several minutes, several times, for various memory card and battery issues. So I hope that you are having a really lovely start to May. What are we now? The 9th? Yeah, I hope you're having a really lovely start to May, and I hope to see you really soon. I would love to see if you're joining in with the Shawl Society too, because I'm so excited about that, and I'd love to see if you're doing the mystery, the Hohi mystery knit along. Yeah, come and share your projects in the group. I've got some lovely things to give away that I'm going to sort out for the next episode. Some such lovely things. if you have any ideas for knit-alongs or anything like that, then do let me know. I usually cast on something new on my birthday, and I can't think of what to cast on this year. So if you've got any ideas of what you're really excited about casting on soon, I'd love to hear about them, because I just don't know what to cast on for my birthday this year. And remember to go and join in with the giveaway for the lovely Luli's Simple Socks pattern collection too. It's such a lovely collection. Yeah, thank you for donating that to us, Lee. It's really, really lovely. So I will be on my way, but it's been so lovely speaking to you today. I miss chatting with you, so it's lovely to be back chatting with you. Thank you to everyone who watches and sends lovely words of encouragement. It's always so appreciated. So anyway, I will stop rambling now. Hey Bobbin. And I will speak to you very, very soon, I hope. Bye.